So we paid a visit to the retro realm. Let's have a quick look at some footage and then I'll show you what I picked up.
Why you're always trying so hard to make me surrender? Why you always in my face? Do you really think it's over? 'Cause I've been kicked when I'm so down, too much until it's numb. And there's nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. Now the sword is in my hands, I'm holding on for dear life. If you try to take it away from me, I hope you're out for a fight. 'Cause I've been kicked when I'm so down, too much until it's numb. And there's nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. I'm holding on my life till the very last breath. Got me feeling fucked up, see the floors are red, but now I know that I'm safe in a place called home. Lost but not Nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my fire. Nobody can steal my soul. Nobody can steal my soul. I'm holding on my life till the very last breath. Got me feeling fucked up, see the floors are red, but now I know that I'm safe in a place called home.
Right, okay, so let's show you what I picked up. Now there is a bit of everything here. If you've been to the realm, you'll know that the retro realm is basically a collection of all sorts. There's collectibles, there's comics, there's games, there's board games. You name it, Scott's pretty much got it. So we're going to go through that, but I should add, I did take quite a bit up to trade as well. As you guys are probably aware, and anyone who's watching this who's a games collector has probably done this as well. Over time, buying bundles of games, and also, of course, because of COVID and all that, you know, people were buying a lot of bundles of things, and eventually you get round to a point where you've got more games than you're ever going to play. And yeah, it was time to sort of thin the collection a little bit. I had a lot of bits that were just things that I would never have played that were left from bundles, and then just games I'd bought that I'm never going to get round to. There was just too many. So I took a lot of that with me and traded that in towards what I've got here. But what I like to always do with Scott is I always like to make sure that when I do trade something in, I leave him with some money on top as well, so that way I've not just traded like for like, you know. He always comes out with that little bit on top of that as well. So yeah, it was a great day. I got some really fantastic things. I'm not going to go on about prices because I don't think that's right. You know, Scott does have some very good prices in place, and obviously everything is different in price depending on its condition. So like I say, it wouldn't be fair to go on about prices because I might have got something that's in a better condition and maybe something else that's exactly the same. And so as a result, the one I got might have been a little bit more expensive than that one, if you know what I mean. So I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to show you what I got. So first off, G-Police. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that's not a hard game, Lee. Like, how have you not got G-Police? It's not a hard game to find. Well, I would argue it's hard to find in this condition. I mean, this is spotless. Very nice condition, and that is why I bought it from the Retro Realm, because yes, it is a game you find everywhere, but it is a game you find everywhere and it's normally smashed to shit, and I wanted a good copy of it. So there we go, disc 1 and 2, and the nice crispy manual. I mean, look at that. Why would you not pick this up? You don't often see PS1 games in this condition, so that's the reason I got it. Like I say, you know, yes, it's not a game that's hard to find, but, you know, when you see these things in tip-top condition, you've got to pick them up. I should add, there was one other PS1 game, but I'm not including it in this, because that will be coming up in a Star Wars video game pursuit. I've been, over a long period of time, getting quite a stack of Star Wars games, and as you know, I'm doing a pursuit where I'm trying to collect every Star Wars game, so I'll be shoving that in there. Right. So, next game is The Puppeteer. Now, this is a really good game, so I'm told. I've got to be honest, I've never played it, and so I'm quite intrigued. And it's in fantastic condition. Manual's there, everything. Now, other than the fact that I want to play this, why else did I pick this up? Well, I'll tell you why, because anybody who knows game collecting, this game went astronomical during COVID. This went up to stupid prices. So when I saw it in the realm, and like I say, I'm not going to go on about prices, but this was a really good price. I decided, right, I'm going to pull the trigger now. I'm going to get it now, because this could go up again at any point. So let's get it out of the way, get it done and dusted, put it in the collection, so it's here. Now, my next game, this one, I've been after this for a while, and that is Under Defeat HD. I think it was Dad and Lads Gaming I saw this on not so long back, and it basically looks like a more up-to-date version of Desert Strike or Jungle Strike or whatever one you want to compare it to. I believe it's 2 discs if I remember right. Yep, it is, and it's got, I think one of the discs is the soundtrack. So let's just double check. Yes, it is. It is the soundtrack. So yeah, you get a soundtrack CD in there too. Yeah, again, very good price. I've seen it for dearer, so when I saw it, pulled the trigger. Now, I do like to mainly pick up these days cartridge and tape games, and the reason for that, if you've seen a recent short I did about disc rot, there's your answer. This is why. So when I saw Lemmings Tribes, I thought, I've got to get this. I've got the first one, and this was a game I had back in the day. And I am mainly trying to concentrate when it comes to Mega Drive on getting games that I had back in the day. Unfortunately, there's no manual. I'll have to track one down. But for the price I got it for, it was well worth it for that. And then this one, another Mega Drive game. Again, another one I had back in the day. Very good condition. I mean, it looks almost new. The manual is lovely and crisp. I mean, look at that. No creases or anything there. It's just lovely condition. So again, I saw that in that condition. I thought, I've got to have that. That's coming home with me. So that is all of the games. But like I say, Scott does a bit of everything. So when the missus saw this, and we have got the Saw films, we are replacing all our DVDs with Blu-rays. So when she saw this, it had to come home. So that is Saw 6. I do like Saw films. Very clever how they all intertwine. So had to be done. Another thing I picked up that was game related, guys, was a PS2. Now I have got a PS2, but it's not working. And when I saw one boxed for a very good price, and the box is in pretty good condition, I decided to get it. Now you might notice that I've bought the fat PS2, and a lot of people have been going, why don't you buy the Slim, Lee? Well, there's a reason for that. The Slim, I've had them in the past, and the compatibility on them is not great. I've had a lot of problems where I've had ones that won't read PS1 games. I've had ones that won't even read PS2 games, depending on the colour at the bottom of the disc. So, you know, when I saw that, the PS2 Fat in a box, and I've been after one for a while, I decided to pull the trigger. Like I say, I did already have one. Martin gifted me one not so long back, but I think the laser had it in it. So, you know, and when I looked at the messing about and a new laser, it just made more sense just to get another one, really. And like I say, I traded a load of stuff in, so when I saw it sitting in the realm, I thought, oh, okay, it's a good example here, a good time to pick this up now. So, yeah, so I grabbed it. Obviously, I had to pick up some comics because Scott's had some massive collections come in with some really good old comics in fantastic condition. I mean, one of the guys was basically just buying them because he liked the covers, and he was just bagging and boarding them. So he'd had them all the way back to God knows when, and he hadn't read any of them. So as a result, they're just in tip-top condition. And a good example of that is this one here. I mean, so this is the Amazing Spider-Man. This is number 367. And I'm just trying to see if I can see a year on it, which I actually can't. Oh, hang on. Yes, there is. 19... My eyes are terrible. I think that says 82. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, look at that. Really nice condition. So we have that one. Now these ones, for sure, Chef is going to like these. So this is a number 1. Again, I'm looking, yeah, no date on this one. But again, this is not a new one. And this is a Spider-Man 2099. Look at that red foil. Lovely looking cover, isn't it? So yeah, we got that. That one being a number 1 was obviously a little bit pricier. And then of course, when you see number 1 and then you see number 2 tucked behind it, well, I had to get that too. Of course, this one was a little bit cheaper because it's number 2 and it's not number 1. So yeah, again, lovely artwork though, look at that. So another Spider-Man 2099. And then this was by far the dearest comic I got, because it's a variant, and this one is Spider-Man number 1, and this is what date's this one? See if I can make this one out. Why do they always have to do it so small? I think that says 83, and it's Torment part 1 of 5. So there we go. Now he did have the gold variant as well, so the silver's gold, the rest of it all looks the same. And I actually said to Kyle, I was like, which one do you think? He said, I think the silver looks better, Dad. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's the one I'm getting then. So yeah, this was the dearest comic I bought. But yes, very nice. And then we saw some Superman. Now, I do like Superman. Like Superman and Batman are by far my favourite DC characters. And then when it comes to Marvel, there's several in Marvel. But yeah, I saw these for a reasonable price, and so I picked them up. Now, I'll show you the one I haven't read yet first, and that is I think it's Supermen. Yeah, the coming of the Supermen. So, obviously, it's some sort of crossover between different universes, I'm guessing, yeah? Like I say, not read it yet, so I will let you know. But this one here, I've read this already. So, Superman Redemption. Now, there should be a clue, I suppose, in the title as to what this is about. But redemption can kind of mean a couple of things. I thought it was going to be a story where maybe Superman's turned bad, which has happened many times in the comic book series. Or something along them lines where he's maybe turned evil and then he's like redeemed and he becomes good again, right? It's not that. No. This is a collection of 3 short stories which are obviously taken from comic book series. The problem with them is number 1, there's a high religious undertone to it. Not a fan of that. If you've watched the channel long enough, you will know that I hate religion. Like, I can't stand any of it. I had it shoved down my throat as a kid. It's not something that I enjoy reading or listening to in any way. In fact, I literally recoil the minute I hear any mention of God and the various other rubbish. So, and that's not me mocking anybody who is into that. I just personally do not like it. It was rammed down my throat. It's not something I'm a fan of. So when I pick up a graphic novel and all 3 stories are based around religion, yeah, that kind of puts me off. I did finish it. I will keep hold of the graphic novel, but I've got to be honest, it's probably not something I'm going to go back to. They're kind of forgettable stories, they're forgettable characters, and really, if I'm honest, it just seems like it's like, well, what can we take that's not majorly impacting the world of Superman and throw it together into a graphic novel, and that's what you get. So, you know, it's not the best of graphic novels, let's just put it that way. So if you are looking for good graphic novels of Superman, I would suggest maybe stay away from this one, unless religion's your thing, and if it is, then this is perfect for you. But yeah, just isn't for me. Right, and then we move on to something very special. Yes, these were probably the dearest things I bought from the realm. When I show you them, I'm sure you'll work out why. I think we'll start off small and work our way up. So, number 1, we have Warpath. Yes, he is a G1 Transformer. This is the one that changes from a tank into a robot. I'm not going to go through all the rigmarole of showing you how it changes. I'm sure you've got a fairly good idea. In fact, what I might do is to actually do a more in-depth video on these collectibles on my collectible channel, and then maybe I'll change them so you can have a look at them. So yeah, that's Warpath. And the rub sticker, even after all these years, I mean, you know, 40 years old, it still works. It actually still works, which I think is very impressive. So yeah, so there's that. And then we've got Blur. Now, a lot of people probably don't remember Blur. He's a little bit lesser known. But, I mean, look at the condition of him. Basically, I think if I remember right, on his on Cybertron, he's kind of like almost like a hover car. Obviously, when he comes to Earth, he has to adapt to have wheels. So, as a result, he's kind of a funny looking car. He kind of looks a bit of a cross between a dragster and a spaceship. That's probably the best way I could put it. But as you can see here, I mean, look, the stickers are in great nick. This here feels like it's die-cast. I'm sure it is. That's the good thing about these old G1 Transformers, is they weren't complete plastic, so they tend to last longer. I mean, even the Transformer badge here is really good. I did notice there is a slight crack just there on his shield, but I'm sure I can get a little bit of adhesive in there and sort that out. So, but yeah, a very nice example of a G1 Transformer in really good condition. So when I saw him, I thought, yeah, he's got to come home with me. You don't often see G1 Transformers that are in this condition. So when you see them, you grab them, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Right, now, this next one, the second to last one, this one's very special indeed. And I've just noticed I've not took it out of the cardboard box that it comes in. So I'll just quickly do that. I'll say quickly, it's probably going to turn out not to be so quick. There we go. And if you saw the top of the cardboard box there, that might give you a clue as to what this is. It's quite big. So this is Superman. Now this is the figure from, oh, do you know what, isn't it typical? I knew the name of the comic it's from, this particular look. And I forgot now. Superman for Tomorrow. That's it. Superman for Tomorrow. That's what he's from. Just quickly popped into my head. And actually, there's a clue on the back as well. So, yeah. He's quite a size. If I had the Bane figure I've got, you would have an idea of how large he is. But the good thing about this figure is I don't think you can see there's a stand there and then there's a rod here. The rod goes in the stand and then the rod attaches to the back of Superman. So he actually looks like he's flying. Like he's hovering. Yeah, really nice. Now, the funny thing is, I originally saw a picture of this that Scott put up in our WhatsApp group. And I said, oh, can you put one of them aside for me? What I didn't realise was quite how big it is until I got there and I was like, wow, that's actually bigger than I thought it was. But nevertheless, it's a very good example of what Superman should look like. I've said in the past that I'm not always a great fan of the red underpants over the top. I kind of like the new look where it's a belt, but actually with this version of him, I think it works really well. It would have looked silly if it was the belt on this particular one. And as you can see, he's very muscle bound in this one, which I definitely think is much better. better look of Superman. The slender look doesn't sit well with me. Superman should be a powerhouse. He should look like one, you know. So yeah, good example of Superman right there. So we'll put him down. Very happy with that. Very nice figure. I'm now trying to put the box down without dropping it. And then I'll show you the next one I've got. Now this one, personally, is my favourite out of the bunch. And that's because when I show you this, you'll know I've got a bit of an affinity with this series. And I've already picked a couple of figures up to this series as well. And that is Archer from Small Soldiers. Again, you do not see them in this condition. Quite often they won't have the weapon. And quite often they won't work. And when I say work, that's because you've got a button on the back here that makes his arm move. And as you can hear, it makes a sound, but there's a switch. So when you turn it the other way, it makes a slightly different sound, like a clanking sound, depending on which way you switch it. But also, he's got a little button here for different voice activations.
I am Archer, leader of the Gorgonites. Prepare for battle. Defend Gorgonite Castle! Rawr!
And that's it. He says 4 different phrases. It's pretty much full articulation. Ankles, knees, hips, waist. As you can see here, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and then the head. You know, it's a very good put together figure. Yeah, this is probably my favourite thing out of it. He did have a Major Chip Hazard. Now I do have Major Chip Hazard in the 5.5 inch figure. I've also got Brick Bazooka, but he had the Major Chip Hazard, which is the same size as the Gorgonite Archer here, and he's what, say 12 inches, I'd say, roughly, give or take. So it was the same size as this, but unfortunately someone had got it out of the cabinet before I got there. So I missed out on that one, which is a shame, but never mind. This one is slightly harder to find, I find, in this condition. So I'm sure I'll find the Major Chip Hazard later. But yeah, so that's my favourite thing out of the bunch. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, consider giving it a like, subscribe, comment below, all that good stuff. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.
I am Archer, leader of the Gorgonites.
See you later, guys.